Like,
Honestly.
ding, ding, ding. Nope.
That was so fucked up.
Yeah, that was twisted.
That was hard baited. Fate
I'm
was like,
excited. I want
You
to.
can only get orichalcum results from 45 or higher, I believe.
well, there's 145 for her.
One
Let's
shot.
go.
One shot on the table.
Can someone bring me to a session?
I need to choose my dice if this is what I'm rolling.
Bring me to a session.
Because my sessions, I'm not bringing the thief to, because we got a little big old fuck off plant thing. Which in hindsight, it was smart that I leveled plant, because I'm about to fight that thing soon.
Yeah, so I'll go for orichalcum and then anything left over, try to get fire essence. I think is what I need.
Hey, you got one.
51.
Sick. Oh, fuck.
Oh, that's actually solid. Silver nugget and a shark cluster? That's pretty good for your rolls.
Fuck yeah.
And you got the fire essence you're looking for.
Oh.
Hey, Paul stepped away to eat. So he said he's coming back.
How much is a cluster again?
500.
Just shoot it.
500 shards.
500. We're at 2146.
It's entirely possible on Blue Mage that I max everything and all of my universal upgrades just fizzle.
Wait, what?
Because the only things left that I can use universal upgrades on are my mutations. So if I was to... Actually, that's not true. There's a couple passives that I never spec'd into because they overlap with being a Moogle. So I guess technically they would go into those.
Bum, 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 bum.
I wonder if anyone's actually going to reach level 60 before we fight Zodiac.
I mean, if we start fucking around and Omega Ruins, you'll probably get there.
Yeah, that's true. But we have a tendency to, like, not necessarily because of how the campaign's built, but more because of we have a tendency to fuck around and find out and jump into boss battles way earlier than expected.
God, I've been like working on this case study for 3 days. I'm still not done reading the case because of how fucking long it is.
Ew.
Ew.
Case study for what?
So I have to do for my intro to law class. I have to write like an eight-page essay, essentially for
Law. Say no more.
yeah.
Yeah, fuck right off with that nonsense.
I have to write an eight-page essay about the Greenhouse Gas Pollution Pricing Act, and like it went to the Supreme Court because a couple provinces didn't want to do it. They're like, this isn't constitutional. You're impinging on the provincial power. So the Supreme Court kind of slapped them in the face with its dick.
Yeah.
No, you're wrong.
Are those
You're
legal terms or?
Let me guess. Alberta and Yukon.
No, I think it was Alberta and Saskatchewan which were dissenting, and then Ontario and BC were 4, or some combination of that.
Yeah, Ontario definitely probably BC and Ontario would be 4. Quebec would. I'm actually surprised Quebec wouldn't be against it just because it's Quebec. They tend to.
Tell me what to do, tabarnak.
Exactly. Just because like if an English person proposed it, like they're gonna be like, nope, it's stupid.
Yeah, I think all the provinces like before
Esti d'anglophone de merde.
before the federal government had to step in, like a bunch of provinces like actually did lower their emissions just like a shitty amount, because like
Yeah.
we have to get below 30% by 2030, which is it's not gonna happen. But
Yeah, it's not gonna happen
it's,
unless
it's not gonna happen.
alternatives.
Yeah, so we need to get below
There's
30. Like their goal is to get it below 30%. So like a bunch of provinces tried, and then I think it was like Quebec boosted it, like they got worse. So
oh god.
they like overturned all their work.
Really, Quebec of all places? That's weird.
One is like I think it's Quebec or
Because
something.
Quebec is one of the like just be based off their infrastructure, Quebec is one of the few provinces that should be able to hit their targets easier than most. Solely because of how many fucking hydroelectric dams they have.
Mm.
Like so much of their power comes from hydro. And that's like Ontario, our biggest problem is that we would have hit these targets easily, except nuclear has consistently over and over and over again been voted against and
Yeah.
shut down. And so like
It's,
in the 90s I think it was, Ontario's like primary like goal, or maybe it was early 2000s. Their like primary future goal for power in Ontario was build nuclear, sell it to the states.
mhm.
And like nuclear is super green, but the fear there was I don't know if there was a scare. I don't think so. But I think Fukushima Daiichi going off freaked a lot of people out away from nuclear.
I mean,
That 3 Mile Island, there are a few different incidents of nuclear.
like Chernobyl was a big one.
No, but I mean specifically the timing on it, right? Like that was like 2010ish that it went off.
Yeah.
And that was right around the time that Ontario's plans were being pushed forward to invest in nuclear. So that happened, and everyone was like, whoa, hold on a minute. Let's look at this again. And then it just got so bound up in red tape that nothing happened. Because Ontario was supposed to open, I think it was 2 new massive nuclear reactors for power, huge plants, and they never went through.
I think it was actually Ontario, Alberta, and Saskatchewan that probably drove it up. Because it sounds like they pulled out after 7 months of trying to lower emissions.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Because I think those 3 contribute to like 75% of the emissions in Canada.
Yeah. Because I know that Ontario, like, our green plan that was put forth was so heavily focused on nuclear. And then when like the popular opinion on nuclear went bad, like they just had no backup plan. So they started building like windmills and shit, which are garbage. Now they're investing in massive solar farms, but solar farms are stupid expensive and take a long time to actually pay for themselves. So just building a shitload of it all at once is very impractical because of how costly it is.
I'm like, do you get solar power if the clouds are out?
You can still get some solar power, it's just reduced.
I mean, is there light while there's clouds out?
Yeah, yeah. Just like with wind though, they're choosing locations that I mean they have the same like tax discounts, and like they're trying to push like farmers and stuff to put them up on their properties because they can potentially make money and help cover the cost of their farms and that sort of thing. But overall, where the government's actually spending money on like big installations are in places where there's really high amount of sunlight or there's really high amount of wind, right? Like where
Yeah.
me and Thunder grew up in Dufferin County, it's an elevated area. There's a fuckload of wind all the time, and like all over Shelburne and shit, there's windmills, right? It was actually the first place in Ontario that they started building them. Was there. So it's the highest wind like corridor in Ontario or in southern central Ontario. I don't know about up north, but and then same deal with solar. Like they are building massive installations in certain places, but with solar the struggle is the cost is so high. And with wind, the problem is the cost is low to build, but the maintenance is really high and the output is really low for the investment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's yeah, Ontario's kind of screwed because they had to pivot on their green power initiative, and now it's just a mess. It's all over the place.
I'm sure they'll figure it out.
But I mean, in terms of solar, like I think solar is somewhat of a realistic choice because yes, we're farther north. It's not like it's going to ever be as effective as near the equator or something, right? But there are certain areas that just don't have cloud cover all that often due to the landscape. And Ontario's a fucking huge place. So there's got to be enough spots that they can find that are worth building in.
I think I heard that the issue with solar is that the materials used to make solar panels are very non. What's the word?
Environmentally friendly.
That's the one.
So yes, until about 3 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago, they discovered a type of carbon nanotube that can replace the rare earth minerals that typically would be required for solar panels.
Oh, that's neat.
So it's still currently very expensive to produce this carbon nanotube because it's still a very new material and not a lot of places can produce it and not a lot is known about it, but it functions extremely effective at replacing it. So the in the future, the hope is that once more and more people start manufacturing it, the cost will come down and it'll be a more like accessible material. The problem is right now is that every year that goes by, the power requirements of the average person go up massively. So they're like afraid that solar is not going to be able to keep up to the power demands 10 years from now. That they're going to put all this money and effort into solar and then it's just going to end up not being able to supply enough power.
We'd be in such a better
Really should
place if
put
the
it
world went
where it
nuclear.
makes sense, but like we should go nuclear more
Mhm.
than what we're doing.
100%. We need well, like I don't disagree with any of the downsides of nuclear, but nuclear needs to be a patch to fix the problem, right? We need to go nuclear as a society to deal with the immediate problems of climate change and work our way backwards to safer alternatives. But that requires a level of foresight that currently is not in government.
Just doesn't exist.
Yeah. It just doesn't exist in the current versions of democracy
People are
that
so like
exist.
people are so terrified of like immediate problems. You know, like they just deal with
Mhm.
consequences that are like happening right then and there, and don't really care that they're burning themselves down the road.
Yeah. 100%. That's how we got in this situation in the first place. So it sucks. I don't really see any solution, not because the solutions don't exist, but because of how people are.
Yeah, it's just a struggle to like get to work together.
There's just too many people that are way too short-sighted, and I don't know what the solution for that is.
I feel like the U.S. is still debating if whether or not climate change is real. You know,
Yeah, like it's
if you're having a discussion about it,
fucking
there's
crazy.
bigger issues.
Meanwhile, one of their cities gets wiped out by a hurricane every year.
All right. Everyone ready? Can we get started?
Still missing De Paula. Gonna be here in a few minutes.
Anyway, the thief is ready to session, so I'm happy about that. Can I get a confirmation, by the way, Steph? Base or the damage die on the dagger is 5d4?
5d4. Nope.
Nope. Okay.
All daggers in the campaign do 1d4.
1d4. Well.
That makes more sense.
Oh shit! Look at that damage.
Say 5d4 is 5d4 plus 15 is a lot of damage for bonus action. That's a shit roll.
Orpheus's daggers are 5d4.
Orpheus's daggers are ascendant, are they not?
No, they're legendary, and even then.
Orpheus's daggers are 5d4 because he has temper because of his passives.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Also, stop taking other people's characters.
He was still mine from before.
Regardless, I crit on
Not that.
a
Not that.
16.
Not that.
If
We'll
I
get
roll it.
We'll get it.
Oh.
I'm gonna roll a 1 before I roll it.
Yep.
Nope.
That nope. Nope.
So close.
Really?
Nope.
Game?
Nope.
Oh god.
There it is.
There you go. Yeah, I don't think.
Yay! 2 dice.
More
It's
like,
okay.
like yay, an ability charge.
I'm here. I'm not here for damage. I'm here for stuff, you know. Doing other stuff. That being said, I still got Needle Storm. So that's a good chunk of damage.
It was like a solid 25. What is it? 25 to 50 or something.
It varies based off the type of enemy that's getting hit.
Is it like lesser and greater enemies? Is it
Lesser
like 100?
greater is 100.
Yeah.
Damn.
Lesser greater boss is 50. Mythic is 25. Mythic and Apex are 25.
It's not bad.
In an AoE around me. So it can hit multiple targets if I position right, which on the
Yeah.
thief will be a lot easier to do, in theory. If I don't have
In
to
theory.
run mechanics.
You are the mechanics bitch now. Have fun.
I am the mechanics, but I already was
100%
on
you're
Blue
the
Mage.
mechanics bitch.
Yeah, I already was on Blue Mage, but I'm extra mechanics bitch on Thief. I really, really, really badly need I really badly need Seeker, and I really badly need Nimble.
What about Nibble?
Once I get Slip leveled up, I won't need Nimble. But right now, it's a little tricky.
I mean, as long as you can seal, you'll be fine.
Does Conceal work? I don't actually have like a description on exactly what Conceal does.
You just
Other
drop
than
off-
it
you
says
drop
it
off
drops
the-
off threat tables, but does that
It's
include?
Rick, I was wrong. It's 2d4. Daggers are all 2d4.
Okay. Does that include?
I found the passive. It's called I just lost it. Where is it? Deadly Force on assassins. It gives them temper 3, which means that base dagger damage would be a d would be 2d4.
Okay. I was gonna say temper 4 is good. That's a lot. Granted, it is daggers though, so that makes sense. Cool. So then, boom. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Average. Why does it say 2G4?
Those are your advantage dice. Your crit dice.
That's why it says G is because of advantage?
Yeah, I don't know why it's a G, but that's what that's for. Yeah.
But it wasn't a G. Oh yeah, it was a G earlier. Interesting. I guess that's what it stands for, is advantage. Yeah.
More likely it's like granted dice or something. But
I'm excited for that.
yeah, I'm pretty sure stealth effects just make it so you can slip out, without needing an opportunity or an action disengage.
Man, I can do some cool shit on the thief.
Yeah, it's a shame we don't have a devastator anymore.
The shame we don't have a Templar anymore. Because with how disgustingly strong Templar's mitigation is, but their weakness typically being movement, Patsy would allow me to just completely throw shit at them that they can't reach with their movement.
Once or twice, then you're tapped.
3 times. I haven't maxed.
Ah, there you go.
3 times as a bonus action. Leverage is funny because I'm gonna now, it's not like it is on Blue Mage. On Blue Mage, it's a free action to negate people's crits. Leverage is more powerful in the fact that it doesn't just negate the crit fail, it actually turns it into a success, but it requires a bonus action. Which means that it's going to be bittersweet when I use it.
Yeah,
Because I'm gonna be able to like completely negate a crit fail and turn it into like a good thing. But I'm also going to be like, God damn it, now what do I do with my turn?
yeah, these are
I
the
just
extra
lost the
economy.
bonus action. Yeah. That being said, it's not like it auto activates, so I can choose to be like no, I really need to save this.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I kind of wish I could use it out of combat, but I
Okay, I'm
understand
back.
why that's
Sorry.
happening.
Look at that.
Nice. Okay, I'll get off so I don't cause lag.
Okay, session in progress.
Boom. Name is Hades, Lord of the Dead. Hi, how you doing?
Ah, bon.
Boom.
Brandon, you're on night.
Yep.
Who knows? We might need Excalibur.
To read.
Excalibur.
You gonna send a giant energy beam down on something?
Smite them.
Music incoming in a moment.
Hey, it's Benjamin.
Where?
In the stream.
Sorry, this laptop can handle both, so I'm just
Oh.
doing what?
Yeah, it's that bad, huh?
7 years old. So I don't know what happened. I think like I said, I think the graphics card is failing.
Mm,
That's why I bought a new one today. It's just I didn't have enough time to like do the startup and download everything.
gotcha.
So
It's a
I'm gonna
squirrel.
use the old one.
There's a squirrel in the GIF.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about your stream.
Paul,
Yeah.
that engineering thing that I sent you, I felt in my soul.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Everybody goes through that at some point or another. Like I had to have classes like that where like I felt like no matter what I did.
Yeah.
Like,
And the worst part about those problems is you spend like 8 hours or whatever time on them, and you know at the end you're like, I still got this wrong, because there's no reason it should have taken that long, right? So
what aggravates me the most is when like you do that, like you spend 3.5 pages solving something and the answer is 1.
mm-hmm.
And there's so many of those questions and you're like, I hate everything.
It's so bittersweet too, because there's like 3 kind of thoughts that go through your head. It's like, A, it's annoying I put that much work in and it's such a just simple, basic, easy number. B, I know I probably got it right because it's such a simple, basic, easy number.
Yeah.
But then C, you're like doing like the mental math in your head to be like, somebody sat down and fucking
Hey,
designed
Jace,
this
welcome
thing
in.
back to front so that it would be an easy, basic number. And you're like
But
trying to like wrap your head around the idea of that.
yeah, and now probably AI can do that in like 2 seconds.
Aw.
True. It's true. But the
Like,
idea that, because those questions, the thing that always blew my mind and like really displays a professor's like just level of competence and understanding is when the answer is a nice even number, but but then the numbers in the question are also nice and easy.
yeah,
And it's like there's only a few variations that would actually work like that.
where like logical flow goes through the whole thing and
Mhm.
And you're going to stop responding.
And to have the kind of understanding of the problem to be able to produce that on both sides is like,
not only that, effort too. I don't care how much you know about math if you don't care for teaching, you're not going to. You're just gonna
it's
throw
true.
some
You're just gonna throw some
million,
random shit out there.
yeah, million time used question that like calculus 2-3 years ago used the same question probably.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go.
And the answer is going to be 5 decimals, and
Yeah. I also hated the ones where like the answer was 314 and then they wanted us to freaking put pi as the answer. I was like, that's not really
yeah,
pi though.
Whoa.
That's not.
no, it's not. I don't think I ever had a problem. Well, I've never had a problem. I have had problems that the answer was 3.14, but I've never had a problem where they like wanted you to specifically state it was pi. It was more of like a,
It was one of my design classes
of
for
course, it was a design class.
yeah, for AutoCAD.
Mm.
So they wanted us anytime we found out something like 3.14, they wanted us to use the pi in the design algorithm so that way it would be easier for the program.
Right.
I mean, it made sense. It just was the
So-
principle of things. Sorry. Okay,
I
we're
hate to interrupt
starting.
your conversation, guys.
Nope,
Can I
go ahead.
start?
Go ahead.
Yeah, no.
Do you guys see the map? Is everyone logged in?
Yes.
Okay. The Warriors of Light will manifest within the arena. As soon as you appear inside of the Colosseum, you'll see Spiritus on his knees in the middle of the arena. His sword is latched onto his back, sheathed. He's like running his hands, open palms, over the ground, over the sand in the Colosseum. A very, very faint outline of whatever rune appeared here when Zodiarc's corruption had flooded into the Colosseum seems to be very faintly appearing again as the corruption that was pushed away by the Warriors of Light slowly creeps back into Valhalla. He's looking around. You can tell he's sensing. His eyes are closed, and he seems to be trying to figure out what the fuck this rune is. He's very perplexed. He's talking to himself. He turns to look at you as you manifest, and as soon as he realizes who you are, he'll just kind of nod to himself and then go back to what he was doing. Energy is coalescing across the arena. 3 more prominent locations, but in dozens of locations throughout the arena, outside the arena, and towards the cliff line, towards the valleys to the south, all over Valhalla. There seem to be pockets of energy forming. It's a very confusing sight. However, you will remember what this place looked like when you first arrived here, and Zodiarc's corruption had taken over, and Hades, of course, was here, having been completely possessed by the primordial Zodiarc. The arena looked much worse than this. What is happening to the Colosseum now seems to be a slow regression back to what it was when you arrived here and Hades had corrupted it.
I hate to interrupt, but can we help?
Do you know Lunarian runology?
No, but we do know powerful magic has to be powered with a source somewhere to be coming back at the speed.
Well, that is a very basic understanding of magic. Yes, it is. I'm afraid runology is what it would take. I can't make heads or tails of this symbol. It doesn't help that it's only barely manifested itself. But if I allow it to manifest further, then, well, I'm sure you all remember.
The fun times, yes.
I'm having trouble deciphering it. It's strange. I was taught at the same academy. I was given the same lessons as Erebus. What is this bloody rune?
Is it
It's
possible?
been a long time, but it hasn't been that long. And I am not consumed by the overpowering aspect of the cosmos. How is it Erebus can recall this rune and I cannot? I am lucid. I have been since I returned. Unless my memory wasn't restored to me. Nah, that is impossible. I have no gaps in my memory.
Is it
It
possible?
makes no sense.
Is it possible he created this rune? Is it
I
new?
did not create Lunarian runology. It is a language that the entire universe speaks. You don't just make things up. No, it is set in stone. Why is the aspect of death here? Why am I in this room? You know what you could do to help.
Anything.
Make this rune more visible.
I got it.
How about I put some dark power into it? That should make it more visible.
No darkness.
Let's not power it.
Go sit in the
No
corner.
darkness. Darkness would empower it. We do not want the corruption to seep further. You are at risk here. Is your firefly intact? Travas.
No, I don't think it is.
Giant Olin protects you.
You know who? The warrior.
Ifrit. Ifrit is not powerful enough to protect you. If we make a mistake and he is able to project his consciousness onto Valhalla again, you will become his servant. We need to protect your friend. There needs to be a way to protect him. before we attempt anything. The pyromancer can probably make the rune more visible without succumbing to any control, considering your magic opposes Erebos.
Well, I don't. Apollo wouldn't prevent that anyways.
Who?
I'm
Apollo.
Yeah, I'm connected to. I'm
Yes.
sired by Apollo.
You were sired by a primordial from another world.
Yeah, maybe it's
Is
similar
he
to
a
this shit.
primordial?
Yeah, he is technically.
Summon him.
All
I
right,
must speak to him.
I will summon Apollo.
Do you pray to the faith?
I'll just use his power.
Oh, you'll use Olympian might. Okay, that works too. Funneling light and fire, you will reveal your forearm to reveal an orange and yellow summon materia inside it that will glow and will cause Apollo to manifest in the skies above the arena. As Apollo manifests, he looks down with glaring bright eyes, and you'll see surprise, just like shock, cover his entire face as he looks around.
You okay, Apollo?
Such corruption. This power. It is unlike anything I have ever seen. Is this your opponent, then? The one you spoke of?
Yeah, he's some kind of primordial of nothingness. So it consumes everything.
Primordial. What is a primordial?
An aspect of nature, in a way. Like he's the primordial of death, so he embodies death.
An aspect of the natural world, like the sun.
Yeah, like suns, celestial bodies.
That would make you a primordial, Apollo. Tell me, how is it that you came to be this way? Were you born as Apollo, or did you become Apollo through some incident, some catalyst?
The Olympian will stare down at Spiritus, and you'll see him just kind of try to recall.
I've been around for a long time. I don't remember my birth. What of your life, then? What is your purpose where you come from? I am the aspect of the sun and of poetry. I inspire men's hearts to do good, to protect those that would fall victim to darkness. In my world, if you succumb to the dark, then you are controlled by a force. A force? Some form of radiation or magic? The Heartless, yes. I have been tasked by my father to push away the darkness, to inspire men's hearts so that they do not succumb to the blackness. This is not useful to me. You sound like a tool. You sound like an experiment, like someone who was created at the whim of someone else. I need to speak to the one who made you. Who is your father? Zeus, king of Olympus. Has he spoken of his origins? He has spoken of a war between those that came before him The Titans. We have never seen these beings. Only the three eldest of Olympus have ever laid eyes on them. Some of the gods on Olympus doubt their very existence. Like me, for one. You doubt the one that created you? Good. That makes you more than a tool, Apollo. Always doubt. These Titans, did they create you? And your father? No. They were created by another. A name shrouded in history, forgotten to time. I had hoped that you had the answers I needed. I would kill to have another Lunarian that was on the council. The Radiant Academy seems like it was so long ago now. I don't know. But summoning you was not an entire waste, Apollo. There is one here that requires your protection.
As Spiritus says that, he'll motion towards Trevos, and Apollo's gaze will just kind of look at him.
Ever the burden, his father says. I brought my darkness with me. Seems. And darkness gets corrupted very easily by the one that's attacking this place.
Zodiac.
Yes.
Have you the power to protect both him and your sire? I am Apollo, sir. They will be safe.
I do carry one of fire and a man of honor with me as my companion. Maybe empowering him would be enough so you don't have to focus your effort on me.
Should my power wane, I will tell you. You can summon your companion.
Trevas will salute and go back to the corner Keras pointed at earlier.
Very well, Keras. You can attempt to reveal the rune. Whatever you do, do not power it. The conversion rate between fire and darkness is extremely low, but any trickle of energy will make this worse. No, you have to flare the rune itself, not the corruption surrounding this place.
Well, I have illumination. Would that be better? It's pure light.
Illumination, as in...
Dispels all lies, illusions, deceits, brightens.
none of those here. Perhaps your flame would be a more potent source of energy for the rune to glow brighter. But it may be safer to use light. I will leave it up to you. Based on your interactions with Zodiac, you should be able to come up with a theory of your own.
Do I sense either pyre or nova flies in the area?
Yes. The pockets of fireflies, pyre souls, and nova flies are consisted of just those things. There are three of them. Do you see them?
Yep.
They glimmer and they coalesce together as if gathering to form into something, but they don't have the power to complete the formation.
If I might make a suggestion, those from the Fascia plane are taught the ways of gleaning. Would that help?
Gleaning would do nothing to reveal this rune. Bleeding would only aid in jarring the memories of the fireflies within this place, and I care not for any memories. I know what these pockets are. They are souls, pyre souls, that have been stolen from me by Erebus.
Oh, that's what those are.
Yes, they are surrounded by fireflies because they are attempting to manifest, as pyre souls tend to do. I use pyre souls to create the challenges that you face in this arena. You understand why it is important that I destroy this rune.
Clearly.
Zodiac is using the Colosseum to recruit an army.
That would explain the presence.
If he takes even one of these souls and turns them into his commander, it will be that much more difficult to win in the coming battle. When the Dragon Soul barrier collapses, Zodiac will be here, and any of those who have sworn loyalty to him will fight on his behalf. It is our job to reduce his numbers as much as possible before he shatters the barrier.
Well,
I
regrettably.
cannot sense the pyre souls within these fireflies. They are hidden from me by Erebus's bloody magic. I don't understand how he can hide things from me. We are both Lunarian. Makes no sense.
Let's see if I can brighten it up and make it more present. And I'll use illumination to brighten the room.
Okay, roll illumination. Let's get a visual for fun. You summon an orb made of light, made of holy energy, that casts its brilliant light. And light in this world is radiation, like anything else. Just a very, a very soft form of radiation that is funneled through the crystal of light. Your orb appears a little smaller than that. Casts a light upon the arena. As it does, it very lightly bathes the rune in radiation, causing the rune to become a little more visible. As the rune becomes more visible, however, corruption within this place becomes intensified. As the corruption seeps into the very fabric of the world around you, nothing really happens. The darkness around you doesn't seem agitated, and it feels like you've succeeded in, at the very least, making the rune visible without triggering some sort of event.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. Well done. Now I can see it.
Take that as a win.
You should. There will be few ahead. What does this mean? There are 4 central points of power. The center, the northern, southern, the west, and the east.
As Spiritus just kind of kneels down and starts to run over the outline with his hand, you'll see silver energy just kind of appear on the tip of his finger as he tries to sense and tries to translate or figure out whatever this rune is doing with its energy. As he touches it, you'll see tendrils just kind of shoot out of it and attempt to grab onto him. He very visibly is waiting for this, and the silver energy on the tip of his finger will flare using his power as the primordial of death. The tendrils will just kind of wither away and die, and he'll just kind of place his hand down on the rune, shut his eyes. Does anyone want to do anything while I roll for Spiritus?
these aren't like kind of like looking at these circles. Like I'll kind of say like these aren't celestial bodies, are they? You know,
Celestial, as in like in the
like planets.
cosmos. Yeah. You can roll history to try and compare it. Do you have any other instance of knowing, having looked at cosmic charts or understanding the layout of the cosmos?
I don't think so, but it kind of looks like a similar effect of like a solar eclipse or something. So I'm kind of playing off of that vein.
Solar eclipse, huh?
Or,
I'll buffer your history check. You have like a your logic is kind of nudging the right direction, but very very slightly.
Is there a period on Crystalis that we would know about where all of the planets align with each other in a perfect line so that they all match up perfectly?
Not that you would know of, no.
I'll ask Spiritus, be like, does that happen? Has it happened within the thousands of years that you've been alive?
As you say that, Spiritus will look up at you. I'm just kind of perplexed.
The celestial alignments was required when we ascended to be primordials.
Isn't that what this is, then?
It's impossible. There are too many celestial bodies. If each orb represents a celestial body, there are too many of them. Even if we take into account the ones that have been destroyed. No, it doesn't seem to align.
If I might make an
Or
observation.
does that suggest that this is attempting to create a new celestial body?
As you say that, you'll see just kind of Spiritus's face, just kind of his eyes will widen for a moment.
Taking into account the celestial bodies that have existed in our corner of the universe, there is one more here. Is that what this is? There's no magic in heaven or on earth that can create a celestial body. Even Lunarians, when we became primordials, we were tethered to existing bodies.
If I might make an
You seem to have given Spiritus an idea. As he kneels down, he'll trace in a different pattern, trying to figure out if what you said is true, if this is somehow trying to create a celestial body. As he does that, you'll hear a gunshot go off, and before any of you can react, some sort of projectile has embedded itself into Spiritus's shoulder, and will just kind of send him careening across the arena and colliding with a back wall. Just boom. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Can you please?
So it came from behind Apollo?
If it must have been because this
Yeah.
direction you flew.
Yes, it came from behind Apollo.
If I'm close to the area, can I see where the shot came from?
You do well to keep your hands to yourself, Spiritus. The Master has expressly forbid that you touch the rune in any way, shape, or form. I will ask you only once, cease and desist, or be annihilated.
What the fuck is this?
Sounds like one of the weapons, but
Apollo will look around the room, and as he does so, he'll close his hand into a fist, and an orb will appear around both Trevos and Keros, seemingly protecting them from any projectiles. He'll draw his bow, and he'll look around.
God of sunlight, there is nothing you can do to detect me. It is my parameter to remain cloaked, to destroy from afar. Yeah, he must be one of the opponents in the arena. What is this projectile?
The wound that embedded itself into Spiritus' shoulder is becoming black, and you guys will see like veins just kind of spreading from it and just coursing throughout Spiritus' body from that location.
Maybe it's a mage bullet from way back.
A mage bullet? You've been watching too much anime.
From the point of impact on the bullet, you'll see his flesh begin to dissolve.
Nah, this is Zodiac's corruption, and it's inside me. I believe I will not last long.
Nibble pulls out Excalibur.
Excalibur, I knew you would present it. Good. I am glad.
Another shot will ring out as you pull out Excalibur. I need a dexterity saving throw from you.
can I had placed myself between him and the shot because I was actually gonna jump in front of Spiritus since I had already done that. I didn't say I did, but that's why I came all the way down here because I thought maybe a follow-on shot was gonna be fired. So can I instead take the shot?
You want to take the shot for Excalibur?
Yes.
Okay. That's not fast enough. So Nibble will attempt to dodge out of the way. We're very clearly not fast enough to avoid whatever projectile is coming. But since you are in front of it, Trevos, you can simply just kind of stand as soon as you hear the shot and just make sure you turn and make yourself wide, and you'll probably get hit by it. Can I confirm you're doing that?
I am doing that.
Okay. And the shot will collide with your armor and send you careening back again. Again, as it did for Spiritus, I mean. As it does, you'll suffer 300 damage. And as the bullet enters your flesh, however, it won't embed itself the same way it did for Spiritus. Actually, you'll feel whatever corruption inside of it start to try to spread, and then naturally your obsidian armor will glow, and you'll feel like a resistance from your discipline, from your magic. Do you want to roll Umbramancy?
Yes.
Go ahead. I'll buffer it. Yeah, very easily the corruption that attempts to spread through your body. The darkness inside you just kind of coalesces at the location where you were shot. In your case, the bullet landed. I have to roll since I don't have a trajectory. Just above your left hip. Embedded itself in the flesh. Your darkness will swell around your body, going to the location where the projectile hit you. It'll surround it and dissolve it, taking away with it whatever curse is destroying Spiritus.
Of course. I have not taken your particular alignment into my calculations. Do not worry, it will not happen again.
You snipers never change, do you? I have seen many a battlefield following my emperor.
Alright, that's it.
Take the main target and then kill the person that comes to help. Always the same.
Lumi will knock
Always the
a
coward.
Lumi will knock a arrow of light into his bow and
I
empower it.
find no disagreement from me.
Apollo, you're
You may continue to monologue while I reposition myself.
Yeah, as you block that first
Ring out.
shot. Oh, yeah. As you block that first shot, can I place Excalibur onto the wound?
Technically, you're. While they were talking is when you would say something, because while he blocked was when you jumped. That said, you can pick yourself up while they're talking, and you can take out Excalibur and do what you're going to do with it. I'll let you do that, sure.
Yeah. I just didn't want to interrupt the dialogue.
Yeah, of course. It's fine.
So yeah, I'll place Excalibur onto the wound, and I'll just tell Spiritus, this might hurt a little.
Spiritus will look at you almost like he's gonna ask a question, and then Excalibur will glow, and you'll just kind of see Spiritus's face just contort in agony.
The gods, what is that sword made of?
While
Good
they're
question.
while they're doing that, I'm
On
gonna
the hilt of the sword, right at the base of the blade, you'll see runes begin to just kind of illuminate. And as Spiritus looks at the runes, just kind of moment of realization will hit.
Ah, a Lunarian blade.
As Excalibur glows, all of the corruption inside of Spiritus's shoulder will stop to spread, but it will not recede. Do you want to roll something to try and force it to recede? Do you have any way to force it to recede? You're not very magically inclined, are you?
Sanctimancy.
Hello?
Do you have Sanctimancy?
I do.
we can hear you.
Finally.
Do you have Sanctimancy?
Yep. Time to roll it.
How do you have it?
Excalibur.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I was trying to do something, but whatever. It worked for him.
He'll point Excalibur at it and concentrate, and as he does, Excalibur will glow into a blinding beam of light and will completely cure Spiritus.
I have a feeling that that bullet was meant to destroy me, and here I stand again. It seems you all refuse to let me be a casualty of this war.
Nope.
We've already lost a few.
I mean,
He'll
Shadow
stand up
Watcher
straight
and all
and-
that.
As he stands up, he'll wave his hand, and a silver barrier will encompass the rest of you. The ones that are not protected by Apollo's light, of course, which means Trevos and Karos are still being protected by Apollo, who is still aiming. He drew back an arrow made of pure light, and he's looking around the arena. You'll see him scanning the arena. When the second shot rang out, he aimed immediately where the shot came from and still did not find him, and you see him just kind of waiting as Trevos and the unknown assailant have their conversation. At the end of the conversation, the assailant will fire another shot, so a third shot will ring out in the arena. As that happens, however, Apollo has been scanning the stands and will, without even looking for a body, will just kind of reflex fire an arrow where the shot came from. As he does, it'll collide. You'll hear it collide with something, and you'll hear like machinery go off, almost like what's it called? Gauss powered machinery. You know what I mean? Like will go off. You'll hear like steam escaping from something before it is closed up, and you'll hear movement for a moment before it becomes dead silent again.
I'm gonna try and track the steam that escaped.
Let's just resolve the third bullet.
Okay.
The third bullet, I am rolling against Spiritus's magic, since he is the one protecting the person being shot. The bullet will fly towards Nibble, literally just kind of being shot instead of from this angle, as the first two shots were fired from. This bullet will be shot from here. This angle. I should move the arrow that it actually points the trajectory. So Apollo will have fired his arrow somewhere over here. When he hits someone, that person will disappear as soon as the hit lands. The bullet will fire through the air, and you'll very clearly see as it collides with the shield that Spiritus put around all of you that it was aimed square at Nibble's forehead. As the bullet collides with the shield, it'll dissipate.
Yeah, Nibble doesn't even wince. He's just like, well, you've shown what you're afraid of. And he just
Okay.
kind of like taunts a little bit with Excalibur.
So I was trying to do this earlier, but
The rune, he is protecting it. It means that what we were discussing must have been important. He has shown his hand. My magic will not be able to protect us and allow me to decipher this rune all at once. We will need your help. Yes, I'll need protection from one of you, and someone will have to cover Nibble and Lumi as well.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like I will protect Nibble for the simple fact if he wants to kill Excalibur, he wants to use blackness and darkness, because that is what Excalibur is, light.
I'll help in
And
any
he's so tiny.
I'll help in any way I can, but
Yeah.
first, let's see if we can bring this being into light. Lumi will draw back an arrow and empower with Sanctimancy and aim it towards Karos's illumination ball, and it's gone.
I'm assuming you're blowing it up.
I was gonna try to empower it to reveal whoever this is that's like cloaked in shadow.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Sanctimancy.
Sanctomancy, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Okay. The orb becomes extremely bright as it becomes just infused with energy. As it becomes infused with energy, it will reveal a shadow in the stands.
Oh, it seems I have been discovered, but it will not make a difference. I do not think any of you have the prowess to attack me successfully.
As he's speaking, Apollo will draw his bow and fire 3 arrows at him. As he does, the unknown assailant will move, but as he moves, you'll see that he's extremely fast. As in, you guys will lose sight of him as he makes movements all over the place, dodging the arrows and just kind of running across the stands.
I can continue to fire at him to try and suppress him, or I can protect the rest of you. But I'm afraid I cannot do both. What should I do? Karos.
Keep him distracted and I'll try and protect Lume.
Very well, I will drop my barriers. Keep in mind that if I do this, Trevos will be vulnerable to the corruption. Tell me when to drop it.
Trevos,
Go for it.
do it.
Apollo will drop his barrier, and as he does so, he'll focus on fighting this assailant, and his arrows will pick up in speed and power, and the unknown assailant will continue to have to use most of his energy to dodge the God of the Sun in order to stay alive, which means he's having trouble firing any shots at the rest of you for the moment.
That seems to be helping, but you should not have dropped the barrier around Trevos.
Trevos, I need a con save. Okay. Tendrils just kind of swimming around the floor will shoot out, 5 of them specifically, and try to latch on to Trevos. As they do so, Trevos will pull away, resisting the corruption that they try to seep into him for now. The DC was 35. The next time he rolls a con save, I'm increasing it to 38.
Ooh.
What is the party doing now? Spiritus is still holding the barriers on the 2 people until he is given the green light to scan the rune properly, but he doesn't want to release the barriers until all of you are safe.
Yeah, I say drop it.
Yeah, drop it. I will hold the dome if I need to.
Dome of what?
Fire if I need to.
Fire is not a defensive element.
I'll make
The only thing fire can do is destroy projectiles. I have a feeling this creature's bullets are designed to be resilient. That is Mustadio. That is the opponent I created for the Colosseum using Cyrex's soul. That is 2 ex-warriors of light that Zodiark has corrupted. Have you not noticed?
He's picking us off one by one.
And he's trying to corrupt me as the third, so maybe we might have to come up with something quick.
He used Alex's soul as well, the one that was thrown into the abyss. The observer, what was its name?
Catastrophe.
Catastrophe. He seems to be intentionally picking souls that were close to the Warriors of Light. Why is he doing that? There's no reason for Erebus to do that, and he is not. Erebus is calculating. He doesn't do things from spite. There's a reason. We need to figure it out. It must be important, but I can't. I can only concentrate on one thing at a time. Very well. I dropped the barriers and I tried to decipher the circle. If he hits me again, I may not survive. I leave the rest to you.
He'll drop the barrier. His eyes will begin to glow silver as he traces the rune on the ground and attempts to decipher it.
A new celestial body, perhaps. But for what purpose?
What are the Warriors of Light doing now?
Good.
Lumi's gonna knock 5 arrows into his bow and attempt to shoot them upwards so that they come down in a volley down and create a barrier like Karos was trying to describe, but with light, obviously, instead of with fire.
All right, go ahead.
Where is it? And while he's doing that, he's gonna just kind of offhandedly mention to Spiritus. So this whole rune, it looks symmetrical except for one big pot. Does that look like a keyhole to you?
You need to point at it.
Big circle in the east, or the west is the round pot. The bottom, the west side is the bottom part of the keyhole.
I have to roll. Sorry, there's a lot of things going on at once. I got someone talking to me.
This is the volley.
The keyhole. Curious.
The rest of it looks pretty symmetrical except for that one glaring pot.
No. We need another Eidolon distracting Mustadio. I need Apollo.
Shemazai, Ifrit?
Yeah.
He'll open his arms out to all of you.
Now, come on!
I think Ifrit is a warrior. He knows how to counter a sniper.
Shemjai's really fucking fast.
Shemzai.
Shemzai it is.
Shemzai it is.
Ifrit is many things, but I don't
She
think he's
fast
that
as fuck,
fast.
boy.
Sanctomancy. Can Sanctomancy do that?
If it's a Eidolon that's aligned to light.
I think he's done it before, which is why he's doing
Yeah,
it
I've
now.
done it before with Shemzai.
You've used Sanctomancy to summon Shemzai.
Yeah.
And there must be a reason for that. Let me double check.
I don't remember the reason you gave, but it worked before. Multiple times. I assumed it had more to deal with Excalibur, but I don't know because I still don't know Excalibur's lore yet.
So there is no reason that it should work that way, but don't worry. I'm not gonna. Give me 1 second. Allows you to surrender yourself to the light and pray for blessings to be bestowed upon you and your party. Yeah, there's no reason it should summon eidolons. That said, what we will do is because you've done it before, and to be honest, I'm not upset that you've done it before because I obviously gave you the green light, and I will retcon that you have prayer to the faith because of your close connection to Shemzai. And we'll just let you use prayer to the faith instead. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Prayer to the faith is here.
Strength based.
It's not strength based. That said, it scales off of what? Is it wisdom or intellect, right? Is that it?
Just wisdom according to the sheet.
Just wisdom? Okay, so we'll put it to wisdom. I mean, his wisdom is high.
It
His
is?
wisdom is high. Yep.
Yeah, I'm wise.
Pray to the faith, and then I'm going to write here, +5, Shemzai.
Oh.
Nice.
So whenever you are using Pray to the Faith to speak to Shemzai, you get a +5 modifier. Don't put it in there though. Just put it manually because you don't get it normally.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna put it here, and then when I use it for something else, just take the 5 away.
Then we're good. Go ahead. You rolled an 11. It doesn't matter. We'll just take this roll, which works. Okay. Shemzai is summoned. I haven't roleplayed as Shemzai in a while. Can I do it?
Model's so cool.
Igniorm!
You guys will hear the clip clop of horse hooves as she appears in the stands and just kind of jumps down into the arena.
Hello, Igniorm. Yeah, we're gonna need your help. See that guy with the sniper? He's fast as heck. But I know you're faster. Oh, I know. Keep him distracted if you can.
She will nod, and her cloak will just kind of fall back to reveal 2 guns that she pulls out. And Spiritus will just kind of reach out, and a giant silver hand will just grab Apollo and pull him back. As Shemzai jumps forward and immediately just starts dodging across the arena. Mustadio will take the moment to try and fire at Shemzai a few times, but she will just dodge the shots and fire back at him, forcing him to do the same thing he was doing against Apollo. I need that ugly green circle resolved, please. Thank you. Just because it's hard for me to see my rune, and I'm trying to... All right, as Apollo is pulled back, he will look surprised, but then will realize that you must have done it for a reason, considering there is a new Eidolon out. She is now trying to distract Mustadio.
Is something wrong?
I almost died and became one of Zodiarchs, and I think my Emperor needs your help deciphering what's going on.
Very well.
He'll just kind of, as wave, he'll sheath his bow, wave one of his hands, and again, you'll be surrounded by light, and you'll immediately feel the weight that was just kind of coming down on you from all angles just dissipate. You'll be able to breathe easier, and you'll feel that you're not quite as vulnerable as you were before.
Once that goes away, Trevas will drop to a knee and then collect himself and stand back up, covering Nibble again.
What is it you need, God of Death? This symbol, it was pointed out to me by the Warriors of Light. I have a theory. There was a colleague of mine who is fond of this symbol. Have you seen it before?
Apollo will look down at the symbol on the ground and just kind of scan his eyes across it.
This is organization magic. What now? It is a band of sorcerers. They use an aspect of the world that creates hollow shells out of the hearts of individuals. It is old magic. Normally, a Keyblade wielder would have to lock this seal away in order to force it to dissipate. Why would an entity from this world know this magic?
Travis will voice his concern quickly. You know, we used to have a white mage by the name of Lazarus. He mentioned a teleporter of Lunarian source that took them places. One of the worlds in that was shrouded in mystery, and he said something about a world where keymasters could have belonged because he had a friend, a previous warrior of light, that was a keyblade master. Hanul?
Those doorways have been closed. There is no way for the two worlds to connect. You must have known it from before, which means that Erebus,
Those two working together in some capacity?
in some capacity, and Erebus must remember somewhere in there some of the baser magic. I don't know anything about it, though. I can't do anything with it, even if we know where he learned it from. How do we close it? Do you know how? Only a Keyblade Master in my world can close these. They are usually... They are sources of corruption. They are placed at key components in different sections of our dimension in order to summon the Heartless. There are no Heartless here. There are no Keyblade Masters, and as you said, the gateways are closed. I have felt as much. Every time I return to my world, I cannot stay for long, and it is but a projection of my body.
Wait, if the door to the other world is closed and this looks like it's a keyhole, is this a door to that world?
If it was, we'd be flooding with these Heartless that Apollo is talking about. No.
Well, if Erebus is
I
adapted,
have a feeling that Erebus is using my old friend's magic in order to corrupt this dimension, Valhalla. He is using this rune to spread his corruption, his radiation.
Where are the anchor points on this rune? Could we cleanse those? I mean, do we need
Anchor points. What is a Keyblade Master? What is a Keyblade Master? It is
like a,
chosen by fate, like a warrior of light? What is a Keyblade Master? Yes, chosen by fate. Ancient weapons that have sentience. They choose heroes to lend their power to. Some are shrouded in darkness, some in light. The Keyblades, they decide what their aspect is.
hold on, a weapon.
Aspect. This has Xehanort's name all over it. Very well, then. It works the same way as us. The only difference is we don't have a big key.
Hold on, you spoke
Nibble?
of a sword or a weapon that chooses its
Yeah.
master?
Nibble gets a physical shiver down his spine.
You have a fucking Keyblade, Nibble.
And you see the fur like rise up, and Nibble just looks at Excalibur, looks at the keyhole in the symbol, looks at Excalibur again.
Fuck, I'm protecting him.
And Nibble just uses Excalibur to get it close to the keyhole just to see if there's a reaction.
Okay. As you extend Excalibur toward the keyhole, the outline of the keyhole itself will just begin to glow brighter than the rest of the rune combined.
Noble
Shove it
just
in.
looks at the rest of the party. Well, goddamn.
As if he needed more ego.
Shove it in.
Noble puts Excalibur in and turns the key.
As you shove Excalibur in and turn the key, the pockets of pyreflies that were manifesting will manifest. The entities that manifest from their location will be frozen in place, and you'll immediately see that whatever you've done seems to have halted their manifestation. Their manifesting. All of the energy that would have been required to summon them under the will of Zodiark has been stopped instantly. 1.
Holy shit.
That's the
2.
Diabolos armor. Oh my god, that's ultimate weapon.
And 3.
Oh no!
Fuck that.
That's the worst one!
That's the worst one.
It's so menacing. Look at those black eyes of abyss.
The creatures hover in the air, completely disabled, and then will return to Fireflies and return to the arena.
Thank Christ.
I've stared into those eyes. There's nothing.
They go on for ages.
As this is occurring, while you are funneling Excalibur's power into the keyhole, the party will hear a massive locking sound, just clunk. As that is occurring, however,
Inadequate. Very well. You win for now, Warriors of Light. Or do you? Till we meet again.
a beam of light will appear and Mustadio will fade. As the rune is locked, all of the Zodiark, like all of the radiation that was emanating from it and transforming this world into a corrupted alternate version of itself, halts completely. The rune is removed forever. And the arena returns to its normal form.
Woo!
Thank Christ. That was extremely ominous, though.
Yep.
Those beady little eyes.
Nibble's just still staring at Excalibur.
I do not believe that Xehanort is behind this. It must be a memory. Erebus remembers. They would always discuss their misguided theories. Well, misguided. The Academy ended up adopting Erebus's theory over Xehanort's. They have no reason to be friends. The primordial initiative is what we decided to use to save our world, and it ended up destroying our civilization. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Will he use this rune again? If he creates anchor points using this, that is how he will corrupt portions of the planets without ever being there himself.
I mean,
He has
that must
no
be how he's
reason not
corrupting
to
the
use
other
it.
guy.
We have to assume that he's taught this to his servants. Hades was his avatar here, and Hades was able to etch the rune. That means that anyone else who has served loyalty to him may have etched these runes elsewhere. That means, though, since you have sealed this rune away, Nibble.
He'll raise his hand, and the silver energy will just kind of emanate from it, and you guys will see the dome of light that used to encompass the arena just kind of reform, and you'll see Valhalla's its green emerald like flames on the edges of the arena and throughout Valhalla will just kind of ignite everywhere.
Yes, that is why he could see us. Valhalla should be invisible to Zodiac again. Now that you've destroyed this room. You've saved the Eidolons that are here. Apollo, you no longer need to protect Trevas.
Apollo will hesitate for a moment before waving his hand. The barrier will disappear from around Trevas, and you'll just kind of wait, and no tentacles will come out.
Very well. That is how he anchors his power. That is how he anchors his power. Do we have other weapons like Excalibur? Excalibur is clearly forged in Lunarian forges. I don't know where it's from. Do any of you have weapons as powerful as Excalibur?
There was a I have spoken with Caius, and Caius put a trial in front of me to receive a blade that's not aligned to light but darkness, but as powerful. Chaos Blade is the name of it.
I'll pull out the Ember Light Cleaver. This is made from his world. Apollo, do you think it would work?
Apollo? You gave him a blade from another world?
I mean, he made it.
It was a gift. I dare say that the Ember Light Cleaver will work the same as Excalibur, but I don't know about the Chaos Blade. The Warriors of Light will have to present their weapons to me. I'll tell you if your blade is of Lunarian make. Well, or Olympian in this case, although I do believe you will be unique in that aspect, Keros.
I don't think anyone else is collecting those, so.
You're familiar with my bow. It's of Wisp's design.
One of a kind.
You'll hear Apollo just kind of proudly say that. As Lumi says that, he'll walk up to Lumi and just kind of extend his hand. Spiritus will, sorry.
Lumi will present the bow.
He'll take the bow and look at it.
No. This cannot be used to lock. In fact, I dare say this weapon would be vulnerable against that radiation, considering whom it comes from.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep him away from all this.
Keep it to yourself and hold it preciously.
Always.
He'll turn his attention to Trevas.
Once you acquire the Chaos Blade, give it to me. I'll see if it is adequate.
I shall do so. And Trevas will salute.
That said...
If not, it'll serve as a replacement. Should you wish to have a weapon that will seal away these runes, I can offer you mine, the Soul Cleaver.
Oh my.
I'll be honored.
Seek me out once you acquire the Chaos Blade. We will see.
He'll clasp his hands together and just take a deep breath.
Well, everything seems to have resolved itself nicely, except for Robot Man getting away.
Yeah, fuck that guy. It's gonna be a pain in the ass to find him.
I'm sure we will.
Yes. However, are any of the Warriors of Light sired by me?
Not anymore. Star is gone and Orpheus, well...
It'll be easy to track someone whose soul very technically belongs to me, using my font of magic.
We can't,
Do any of you possess Channel Death?
Orpheus can channel death.
It'll be easier to track Mystadio using Channel Death. Do any of you have the resilience to learn it?
My companionship relies with Ifrit, but channel death would be
You are a dark knight.
road.
The knight is clearly aligned to the light because of the blade he wields.
Yeah.
Lumi to life and the light. The pyromancer to light and fire. Very well, Trevas. Let us see if you have the power to learn this.
Love to be the
Stand
first
before me.
choice.
In front. Front and center. Front and center. Stand there.
You are just so wide. It's hard to figure out. You know?
As that he'll literally grab you, pick you up, and place you in the right spot.
Trevor, stop embarrassing everyone. Take it easy.
Do not speak of this to your father.
Very
Very well. Channel death is extremely dangerous considering it allows you to channel from the font of souls that I control with my very being. There's a planet that is comprised entirely of souls. Do you understand? The allure of such power is very difficult to resist. It requires constitution. It requires self-control, discipline. Do you think you can do that?
I had enough discipline to push every day. Try to be a worthy warrior while being put down. I now earn the trust of Ifrit, a warrior that I respect immensely. If he thinks I'm worthy, I'm worthy.
Ifrit is a commendable fighter. But whether he believes you are worthy or not means nothing to the god of death. Let us see if you can.
He'll extend a hand, and an aura of silver energy will just surround you. As it does, your eyes will just kind of go blank, and you'll be teleported in your mind in space, orbiting a planet that looks like basically a gas giant, except instead of being a gas giant and having a swirling mass of dust um, and gas, it's literally just billions of pyre souls creating the planet, and the pyre souls just kind of revolve around it, leading to a dark abyss at the very center of the planet. As you stare upon it, it's very hard to take your eyes off of it. You are allured to it, almost like you want to dive into it. Roll a Constitution saving throw to resist diving into it.
Okay, just one thing. As he's about to send me away, and he says, if he is nothing but a fighter, his opinion of you, or does he believe in you, doesn't matter that much. Shavas will whisper in his voice, it means everything to me. He was the first one to do so. Clench his teeth before he goes. And then roll the con save.
DC's 30. Woo! As you roll the con save and stare upon the abyss of the planet, you'll feel Spiritus release his hold on you, and you'll plummet down into the planet. And you'll stop just before you hit the outer atmosphere of the planet. Roll a Constitution saving throw. DC's 30. One last saving throw as he releases you and lets you just fall and become immersed in the abyss that is Acuria.
No.
Nothing else? You're not going to say anything?
So he was holding
Plummeting
on
now
to,
in space. He was basically, his energy was holding you above the planet, and he was like kind of bringing you closer and closer. And for this last one, he just let you fall into the planet.
I didn't realize I could talk in between falls.
You can talk, you can move. You're inside this world he's brought you to. You didn't do anything for the first two, and you got them. I'll let you try and do something. Maybe you'll get advantage on this last one.
As he plummets and as the first drop happens, He remembers his conversations with Ifrit, he remembers his conversations with Crystalis about finding duality. And for some reason, his heart keeps tugging at the image of Kutzal, the hunt, the hunger for power, and how he remembers the days, how he would have just plunged into those world of souls, observe everything he could. But how that fluffy cat taught him there was more. Remembers Etro's first whispers to him, and remembers trying to dismiss them, thinking he was unworthy, just a killer. Remembers all these wins and losses, and says to himself, I am strong enough. I am more than a shadow walker now. I am more than the tool of the Emperor. Let myself go.
Okay. Roll another check and we'll take the highest of the two. Constitution saving throw.
Yep. Rolling it right now.
Very well. You learn Channel Death.
That was close.
As you come snapping back to reality, you'll find that Spiritus has placed a hand on your shoulder and he's just kind of looking at you fondly.
Good work.
Boss will take a small notebook out, writes the date, time, alignment of the planets.
You've ruined it.
Take his hand off your shoulder and walk away.
Use my power to track Mustario. If he becomes a nuisance again, you should be able to reveal him. You should be able to track him for your entire party. Perhaps you'll be able to fight him. Currently, he was too fast. We will have to find a way to be able to engage him. Well, you will, while I try to figure out how to counter this magic and to allow all of you to finally destroy Erebos for good. You should find a solution to your Pyre soul being vulnerable to. As soon as the dragon barrier goes, you will succumb to his control if you are not protected. Perhaps your kinship with Ifrit, meaningful as it may be to you, should be replaced for an Eidolon that can protect you.
Trevas will show his arm to him. I made a promise. If I'm not with him, I am no more.
You cannot keep your promise if you serve Zodiark. What do you think will happen to Ifrit if your soul becomes corrupted?
I will discuss this with him.
Very well.
Nibble, I've been waiting. By the way.
Yeah.
Um.
For me to figure out that it's a key.
No. As you approach Shemzai and start like talking, Shemzai will keep her back to you and will listen and nod, and you'll immediately sense that something's wrong.
Oh.
Yeah. As you approach Shemzai, she'll have draped her cloak, the cloak hanging off of the head above her, over her torso. And she'll have one of her hooves just kind of kneeling, and she'll be kneeling on the ground, and you'll see that she's breathing heavily.
Oh. Okay, Nibble checks for wounds.
As you go to check under the cloak, she stops you. Very weakly stops you, though. You could easily just look under anyway.
Yeah, I look under.
3 gaping holes. Upper left shoulder, middle of her chest, and down into where her stomach begins. 3 shots, all of them snaking black goo, just like the one that was inside Spiritus.
Okay, yeah.
She'll look at you very slowly.
I'm sorry. I think he got me.
You're not at fault here. You're not at fault.
The
We gotcha.
ascendant limit break sound you guys heard? The end of the encounter? That was Mustadio's.
Okay. So we're gonna use Excalibur Sanctomancy to remove the corruption.
Okay.
Fuck.
So you're gonna roll again because I was gonna ask you to roll disadvantage because of Excalibur being spent by destroying the rune.
It'll be in that one anyway.
That's true. You're right. So I guess you don't need to roll a second time. All right. As you lift up Excalibur to try and remove whatever corruption is snaking through Shemzai's body, Excalibur will just kind of flicker for a moment and will just kind of lay dormant. As you do this, you realize to your horror that Excalibur is it's just like spent of all of its energy.
How deep is the corruption?
Snaking out from each wound, the corruption has already spread pretty far. The one on her shoulder seems to have climbed up her neck, and you see it already spreading into her forehead and her eyes. The one in her chest is the worst one by far. Like in the center, you'll see like her chest is literally collapsing and turning into like a black dust.
Yeah, Nibble feeling like completely helpless for it now. He just turns to his allies, like tears just like draining down. He just yells, "Help!"
Lumi mid sentence because he was talking with Apollo turns and runs over.
I hear his voice. He commands me.
Just listen to me. Listen to my voice.
She'll shake her head.
I do not want to serve him.
You won't. You won't.
Understand? I don't want to serve him.
You won't serve him. You're here with me. Just listen to me. Listen to my voice, not his.
How did I not sense this? Mustadio's gifts seem to align with Zodiac's quite nicely. It is difficult to sense the energy that he releases when he attacks.
Lumi.
We will need Karas, your magic. You need to unsummon Apollo. I cannot risk him becoming corrupted.
Apollo, you can return.
As you wish. It was an honor, Whisperer.
He'll bow respectfully as he fades back into your arm.
Thank you. He'll pull out his axe, focus his energy through it. Be like, okay,
Your axe is Olympian. It will not help you. You need to channel your flame.
Okay, pyromancy then.
And Lumi needs to channel his light. Darkness, I'm afraid,
He'll look at Trevas.
will not serve you here.
Lumi will reach into his pocket and pull out the crystal. Should I use this too?
Spiritus will hesitate.
If he finds a way to corrupt that crystal, do you realize every Eidolon that is Seraph or Light aligned would be susceptible?
I'm already putting myself at risk with Channel Life.
Imagine the horror. Shall I name them to you? Alexander, Eden.
Fine.
You shouldn't use light.
You should not use Channel Life. You must use your Sanctomancy. Otherwise, Wisp will be at risk. And that is a fate far darker than the one where the light crystal is corrupted. I will say this. If you use the light crystal, you will almost certainly save her. But I cannot promise the light crystal will come out the other side intact. Make a decision quickly, as corruption spreads.
I'm gonna get to work.
It is fine. Do not risk your salvation. All I ask is that I not be made to serve.
Nibble just holding her head and like crying, and he's just like, I'm gonna use Pray to Faith, and I'm just like trying to link with Shemzai and just talk to her and just like keep my voice in her head and try to make it like stronger than his, and like obviously using our bond to like for her to focus on a point of focus, so she's distracted from hearing the voice.
She'll shut her eyes as you recite the prayer to the faith to her and just kind of soothe Zodiark's voice echoing in her mind. You'll see the corruption from her wounds just kind of spreading across her body. By the way, this is while you guys were discussing with Spiritus, okay? So keep that in mind. You guys can't, like, I'm not rushing you. It'll snake throughout most of her body. Now the one on her shoulder just kind of reaching all the way to her back. Her eyes are becoming white. You know the white I'm talking about, the celestial white.
I made a vow to protect.
Nemo.
Yeah.
I don't want to serve.
She'll very slowly reach for Excalibur. Place your hand on the hilt.
I will never serve a tyrant again. Please.
Nibble just looks to his allies for like one last ditch effort before he has to do anything else.
I made a vow to preserve life, and I am not breaking it now. Lumi will pull out the light crystal and draw upon it.
As you do so, Spiritus will just kind of shut his eyes, and you'll see him glow with silver energy as he uses his radiation to try and stop the corruption from spreading across Shemzai's body.
Very well. Keros, equal in parts fire, burn it away.
Fire and the soul will just kind of merge together and enter into the open wounds through Shemzai. She'll immediately start to just kind of writhe in pain as it burns through her faith circle and tries to just kind of destroy the corruption from within.
Very well, Lumi. Draw upon the light crystal.
Travas.
Your Sanctomancy roll needs to be rolled with triple advantage, so 3 separate rolls.
Okay.
With a plus 15 modifier. Actually, no.
Nope.
I need a percentage. I use the average. What? Or how much of the light crystal are you channeling?
15.
15%?
Mhm.
Are you sure?
While these decisions
Yes.
are being made, Travas would like to meet Nibble's eyes as he's looking around, trying to ask for help.
I'll give you a hint. Savande, the last time a crystal was used to repel Zodiark, remember how much percentage?
Didn't he use like most of it?
Yes. Yes, Travas?
As this is like being done, and Nibble is frantically looking around before those two start action, Travas will be crying, looking at Nibble in the eyes, and shake his head, kind of like, "You gotta end this. You can't let this happen." That's the message he's trying to convey.
Everyone has a choice to make right now. This is entirely up to you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to encourage Nibble.
Yep.
No.
You're doing fine. Absolutely fine. I'm just
finish.
making it very clear to my players that all of you have a right to decide what you do next. Okay, and we'll respect it.
So with just Karos's and then Lumi's first Sanctomancy, does it look like it's without using the crystal? Does it look like it's
So-
enough and it's affecting it?
There'd be no way to tell because right now what I described was Spiritus's power and Karos's power because they're the only ones I can take right now because I need more information from Savande. You wouldn't be able to know unless he starts channeling through the crystal, which is why I need a response about the percentage.
I don't remember how much Jekyll used last time.
Okay. So, it's up to you.
Between the
Nibble
other two,
just looks at Lumi and just shakes his head no. And he just kind of like puts his head up against Shem's eyes and just, we've always been about the greater good, right? We don't want to put the rest of the world in danger.
No, we do not.
You know, I'll find you again, right?
That is the only reason I am asking for your mercy.
Very gently with Excalibur, he just, you can see there's a lot of hesitation. And he just still has his head on Shem's eyes and, oh, goodness. And he just says, I'll find you again, Igor. One day. And he just very gently presses Excalibur into her chest. And just uses Excalibur, the little bit of power it has left, just to give her a very gentle send-off.
Excalibur's runes will glow and will destroy her faith circle, ending her suffering and very slowly causing her to start to fade away into fireflies.
A greater hero I have never known.
I gotcha.
Very slowly, she'll just kind of rest her head on the Colosseum's floor and she'll fade.
Nibble just on his knees, like bawling uncontrollably.
Lumi was already like trembling and his eyes darting from Shema's eye to the crystal, but respecting Nimble's decision, just kind of walks up, puts his arm around Nimble's shoulder.
Spiritus stares forward in silence as well. You can tell that he believed that risking the Crystal of Light was dangerous. But now that Shemzai fades away, he just kind of sits or stands quietly, not knowing what to say.
Travas will sit on the ground. He won't approach Nibble. He won't say anything. He will look down, knowing perhaps he was part of this, and let the hero mourn in peace.
With the Colosseum having been saved and repaired, and the strange rune that appeared on the ground being completely destroyed and locked away, Valhalla has been saved as well. The Colosseum is no longer at risk of being corrupted by Zodiark, It is no longer, and the denizens, the souls within the Colosseum, besides Mustadio, are not at risk of being taken. All the Eidolons that have been sent to Valhalla to seek refuge from Zodiark's whispers are safe as well. The Warriors of Light will sit in silence. Send me your votes for MVP. We'll end the session here.
Ah, damn, I'm choking up. Oh, God.
I was not expecting to cry tonight.
Yeah. Whew. Oh, man. So if I just want to say, when you roleplay Shemzai, A fucking plus, I love it.
Oh, thank you. It's nice of you.
Oh, man.
I was trying not to ruin your moment, actually.
Yeah, no, that was good. I was. Oh, man.
I was
Fuck.
one of those horrible moments where everything seemed okay until you walk up to Shemzai and she's been standing there for a few minutes quietly.
Yeah, he was so excited to show her Excalibur and talk about how he might be a blade master. Oh, man. Oh. I'm shaking. Oh.
Well,
Good thing I already had napkins at my desk.
I feel really bad for Mustadio.
Oh. The rage that's gonna come from this. You might see some heavy character development.
I was sitting here going, I'm Mustadio. I'm a little scared right now. I'm sitting here going, I'm sad because I'm Shemzai and I'm like gonna miss Nibble, and then I'm in the back of my mind I'm going, oh, I need to hide.
Oh yeah. Whew. The fury from this. Holy shit. Yeah, this might have snapped something in Nibble.
Okay. Lumi, I'm gonna.
No more
I'm gonna.
Mr. Nice Mouse.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna need to go to those Farseer plains soon.
Neil, are you trying to talk? We can't hear you, man. I see you
At
lighting up.
all.
Sorry,
hear-
sorry.
oh.
I was gonna ask, as she was fading away, is there any way of like coalescing like maybe a piece of her essence, like a deity essence or something that could be gathered from it, just so that Nibble could just have a part of her as she's disappearing?
Yes. If that's what you want, sure.
Yeah, I will craft it for him so that he has a piece of her at least.
Give me one
Oh
moment.
man.
That way, at least like you can like upgrade like a mythic item into some part of her, you know, like just have that piece of her still.
Here you go, Neil. If you want to give it to Nibble.
Oh.
I'll give it to Nibble.
Meredith's like, why?
Yeah, I'll give it to Nibble as I pull it from the last bit of her.
Nibble just like grabs it and he's just like holding it to his chest, still like just uncontrollable, just sobbing, can't even stand up.
Oh, one more thing before I end the session.
She really loved you, man. Like she really did.
Nibble?
He just like throat not even like able to talk. He just he just looks up.
Is your pyre soul still intact? The one from Etro?
He shakes his head, yeah.
Okay. I doubt you'll need protection from a primordial. Considering Excalibur is a powerful weapon. But should you ever need it, I will protect you. But for now, I will let you mourn.
He just nods his head.
Spiritus will turn to Keros and point at him.
Yeah.
Abaddon,
Yep.
go.
Do you know which one is closest to where we are?
There's only one here. It'll be cleansed by the rune being destroyed. You'll need to find the 2 remaining corrupted ones.
Okay.
Unless... No, you cleansed the one on Crystalis, did you not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then there is only one cavern left. The one on Nova.
Any idea where to look?
I have no idea, and I have not heard from Abaddon in a long time. A concerningly long time. Is there a way to find it?
Travat will kind of raise his hand, since like he's been sent all over Nova, every single corner of it as an assassin, and gives 2 hints. There are some yellow glowing caverns that protects the dwarves, and also I heard stories coming from Avalon. Maybe Benjamin might know something, being a shaman and all.
Karnan has his magic, so I'm wondering if Karnan can sense the corruption.
Conan being proficient in blue magic will help him identify where he is. But he is right. Trevos is right. Tomra. Start in Tomra.
Okay.
The doors will lead you to wherever the cavern is. There's long been stories of the dwarves being protected by Abaddon.
Hmm.
It is actually a reason why Luxarian does not invade them. Yes. Start in Tomra when you have recovered, but it needs to be done. Otherwise, we may as well consider Abaddon an enemy.
Okay. I'll lead a party there immediately.
Missing a vote from Neil. And Rick, since he was kind of on standby-ish.
True.
Rick didn't know. He didn't have to roll, but he was gonna catch these tears.
You should look at upgrading Ifrit to a next form if it exists.
He
Or
is in his next form. He's a mythical Eidolon.
maybe there's a step above so he can protect you.
You can try to turn him into a primordial.
Yeah.
Make him the primordial of war.
Or make him the primordial of vengeance.
No, that's Brandon right now.
I was gonna say that's Nibble, dude.
Nibble is going to become the primordial of vengeance.
Oh my god. Nibble goes into the red tower and gets Ragnarok and turns him into the primordial of
Oh my
vengeance.
god. Jesus Christ.
No fucking around.
It's Zodiark's fault. You can't blame Zanzis. You can't blame Cyrex. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
Do you think Mustadio is clear-minded at the moment? Like,
No, he would never do it in reality. I'm a bit worried about Torbad because he's working so closely with an Eidolon that's deeply connected to Zodiark.
yeah, you have a. It's a good idea to be worried.
You know. So like that's a big
So
if.
this is the before times, right? You guys know the barrier's failing.
Right.
This is the time where you guys run around putting out fires, so that when the barrier fails, you have less shit to deal with.
Mhm.
Like right now, what you guys did in the arena in the Coliseum is insane. Because those things I showed you, Red Chocobo, Ultimo Weapon, and the Diablos armament, those were all Zodiark generals.
Yeah, those were WMDs right there.
Yeah. I think so. I think right now it appears that Zodiark is attacking our closest Eidolons, for one, and Warriors of Light who are
He's
vulnerable.
using Keep Warriors of
So
Light.
I think he's gonna play Raziel, who like has gone off the deep end a long time ago. You know, I think he's absolutely susceptible. God, Torbad, things will go bad for Torbad. He's too smart for his own good. He's gonna fall into a trap, I think, or he thinks he knows too much. You know.
What I do want to emphasize before we stop, don't worry. Kingdom Hearts is not bleeding into this campaign.
Mhm.
The only thing you guys discovered here today is that Erebos is using magic that he learned from someone who will be important when you guys get to that campaign, when we start over.
Oh.
It's just like a light connection. It's not, there's no big bad guy in Kingdom Hearts manipulating events here.
No. All we learned was that there's a confirmed connection between the worlds.
Yes, that's what you did learn. And it had to do with something called the Radiant Academy, which it was an academy on Lunera, where like the most gifted mages would research and teach. And apparently this rune on the ground, the reason why Spiritus didn't recognize it is because it was taught to Erebos by a man called Xehanort.
True.
So
It does is Muramasa a Keyblade? Because it's kind of like has a will of its own a little bit. You know.
it's funny that so there's a reason Excalibur behaves the way it does. And I'm not gonna say any more than that, but it does tie in to the Keyblades. So
Yeah. Like, is it like the blades themselves have souls in them of like people?
haha, that's actually really close though. That's not bad. But
Yeah, because already Excalibur's like tried to talk to Nibble, and Nibble's
Yes.
like sensed it, trying to communicate.
Sentience is important, right? Because don't forget, he did. Apollo did say that the Keyblades in his world have sentience and choose their chosen, right?
But-
Whereas, and Brendan just said Excalibur has showcased that behavior before. So there you go. You have like a connection there.
Does that mean when I upgrade my axe to mythic, it might start talking to me?
It'll start talking to me. You guys are actually getting a lot of stuff right. This was a semi joke what you just said, but I will say, Brandon, if you want to learn more, upgrade Excalibur to Mythic.
Yeah, it's already +1. I think. Yeah, +1 at the moment.
So you need +2, then Mythic, and then you'll start to understand what's going on. And yes, Neil, your blade as well. Any blade that is deemed powerful enough to close those runes
is like partially
Um,
sentient.
Yeah. They're called, by the way, they're called World Soul runes. So
Okay. Who else has an ascendant weapon in our party that I'm missing?
obviously, the weapon's origin really matters. So, for example, Lumi, his weapon coming from Wisp means that it doesn't have that origin. It comes from Wisp. So Wisp is the entity that is like kind of controlling that weapon. But there are other people in the party based on where their weapons come from. They could potentially be used to close those runes.
Because I assume Muramasa was made on Solheim, but like there was a Lunarian there who like was the leader of Solheim. So maybe she played a huge part in forming it. Something maybe. Yeah.
Yep. I was so happy when Brendan instantly clicked and went like Excalibur.
The first stood up on it. It's like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
I thought that was actually surprisingly intuitive for Nibble, but at the same time, I was like, you know what? Nibble understands weapons more than most people, so
Yeah.
I can see that.
And above all else,
Specifically,
Nibble,
Excalibur.
exactly. If something has to do with Excalibur, Nibble's in it for
Yeah.
all the money.
Oh
I
yeah.
can imagine that the second that blade talked to him, Nibble was obsessed with figuring out more about it.
Oh yeah. It's irreplaceable, like Shemzai.
Oh.
Bro, I don't think Nibble could even have another idol.
You say that, but you tend to be a person who makes friends, right?
True.
So as soon as you make a connection with an idol, then you won't feel that way anymore. But I do believe that you, above a lot of my players, will be scarred by this.
Yeah, no joke. This like I was bawling.
Yeah, I know
IRL,
you were.
and I was
could
shaking.
Tell. I could tell. Yeah.
This fucked me up more than any like video game, show, movie, anything. This fucked me up harder than anything. Holy nuts. But the roleplay was superb.
Do we have a recording? Yeah. We do? Okay. So if people want to see it, they can.
Oh god, and at the end.
If Brandon wants to buy a big tub of ice cream and watch it. It's like ugly cry.
Tub of ice cream and a bottle of wine, no glass needed. Just
No glass needed. Oh, that's funny.
Oh man. Whew. Yeah, Nibble's about to go on a path of vengeance right now. Oh god, and at the end, what exactly did she say? She said, you're the greatest hero I've ever met, and Nibble just like back at you.
Yeah. A greater hero I have never known.
Back at. Oh fuck. Sheesh. And thank you, Neil, for the gift.
And now the poetic part is they use that to make Excalibur mythic.
I was actually thinking that. That would be insane. Holy nuts. Iggyarm's love. Oh.
Reading the name hurts.
It does.
Writing
And
it
you
out hurt
purposely
me.
used her real name.
Yep. Writing
Of
it
course
out
he did.
actually hurt me. So
Goddamn.
I never thought I'd care this much about Shemzai. You did that, so
Yeah. Oh man.
I isolated her among the zodiacs, and she's one of the ones I care the most about because of Nibble's connection to her.
Yep. Ooh. Oh man.
She was
They're just got a thing
redeemed.
coming. Holy shit.
She was redeemed because of you. She was a hateful thing before.
Oh yeah. I remember when we first met her.
And she killed me.
Yeah.
She fucked you up.
Cyrex.
Oh my god, I just thought of that too. Oh my
It
god.
makes total
God.
sense that he would kill her.
Listen. I am telling you now. Planned out. No, it wasn't planned out. That is such a fucking coincidence. I didn't even do that. I didn't even do it.
Holy shit.
Oh my god,
my
that's
God.
actually insane.
That is insane.
Oh, full circle.
That is insane.
Holy
Oh,
shit.
my campaign is so cool. What the fuck?
Holy nuts.
No way. Holy shit, she killed Cyrex and he killed her like 15 years later.
Holy fuck.
That's crazy.
That is insane. Like, it's blowing my mind. I can't. That is insane.
Whew.
Oh, man. Oh, god damn. Okay.
The chills.
Okay.
You can't make this shit up.
You can't make this shit up. It's funny because sometimes DMs will, like, play along and pretend like they thought of it, and I completely threw that out the window. There's no way. Like, fuck that. Like,
That's the kind of fucking shenanigans that only fate comes up with.
yeah, exactly.
That was like 3-4 years ago, IRL. Like,
I know. Holy, and it just so happens to be Mustadio. I didn't even pick him because of that. Holy crap.
we didn't even plan on having Shemzai out at first. Like,
Oh my god. I didn't even know you were coming to the session until the session was imported. So, I mean, that is insane.
holy nuts.
Holy shit. Okay, sorry. I was writing by the Dungeon Master stuff.
Insane.
Moments like this are why I want people to see this goddamn campaign. Well, I usually don't do an outro for these things, but thanks for
We
watching,
have a
guys.
second
Really appreciate it.
channel death.